Welcome to HIT. This is High Intensity Tactics with Chris Cicchinelli, and this is going to be a day that we sit back and talk about abundance. How many of you out there listening right now want more in your life? You like to have, more customers, more team members, more friends, more family members, more money. Well, that's what we're going to talk about, right? What does your future look like? How do you get this more abundance? And I'm not talking about lifestyles of the rich and famous. I'm not talking about just going and grabbing shit, right? Like, you don't need more cars. You don't need more, more homes. You don't need more of the other stuff. Everybody likes that stuff. Everybody talks about it. But what I found is if you get more homes, more cars, all you have is more bills. And so I don't think you want the other side of the more, right? But how do you have this kind of abundance of life that people are looking for? How do you make it sure that it's, your future is going to be bright? How do you create this awesome, vision for what you and your family and your life is going to look like? And I think that's where the whole thing of abundance comes from. It's kind of like when I go out there and talk about success. Most people think success is a commodity. Success is abundant. Each and every one of us are entitled to it. We talk about that money is, machine made, and success is female or male made. That's what we have to look at. So if we're going to create this bigger, brighter, better future of abundance and things like that, what is it going to look like? Like, I think when I look at things today anymore, some people see everything in black and white, which they kind of put this kind of their own haze on it, their own spin on it. Like, oh, it's doom and gloom. Oh, the world's kind of, low this or low that or unemployment or, I don't have enough to get by. Yeah, I hear you. I understand. But how the shit is that going to get you what you want? And that's where that we talk about some of this. And I'm really a big firm believer in the mind is the biggest power tool that we have. And that's why I think if you're going to create this vision, or you're going to create this future, it's going to sit back and say, hey, what is it? I need to make sure it's bigger, it's brighter, it's in front of me every day. That's why I tell people all the time, where are your goals? Where are the targets that you're trying to go after? What are the actions that you're doing? Because I think so many people, what they do is they make all these lists all the time, right? And what happens is they just become somebody that's checking off a list and not trying to go after mega goals or mega things that they want to get in their life. And that's why I think it's got to be bigger, it's got to be brighter, it's got to be full of color, right? It's got to be in focus. This thing's got to be panoramic, because what's going to happen is, if it's not, what's going to happen is the things on your fray, the things on your sides of your eyes, those are going to catch your attention. It's going to be like squirrel. You're going to start chasing those instead of chasing the goal. And they got to be specific. They got to be something like what we call SMART. They've got to be specific, measurable. They got to be achievable. They've got to be relevant, and it's got to be time bound, right? We talked about that. Those are the things that you have to do when you're building an abundant future. We've got to win with actions. We've got to win with actions. See, actions change shit. Actions change the things that we want. And when we have this kind of abundance that we're trying to go after, you can't sit back and just write about it. You can't just sit back and blog about it. You can't just sit back and YouTube about it. You can't sit back and Instagram about it. You got to get out there and do it. And that's some of the hard pieces that, when I'm talking to entrepreneurs or I'm talking to business owners about their plan, about this, because again, they think success again is like this commodity that only a couple people get, that they are born into the right family, live in the right area, had enough money to get into it. And that's what we tell ourselves, because that's the easy cop out. That's the easy cop out. So we have to think completely different. So today, you know what I want you to be thinking about is this: how are you communicating your life to other people? How are you communicating exactly what it is that you want to other people? How are you communicating it, hell, to yourself every day? These are things that we have to be thinking about. And people are like, well, why is that so important that I communicate my wants, my needs, my desires, what success looks like to me? Because I don't want to tell anybody that. Well, if you don't want to tell anybody that, nobody's going to be there to help you get there too. Nobody's going to be there to help you support. And you're going to sit back, why? Why do I need help to get there? Every big thing that I've ever done in my life takes somebody else to help me or guide me or give me information. I've never done anything by myself alone. And I don't know that any successful person has done anything by themselves. Everybody thinks Thomas Edison created the damn light bulb. He had 50 people in the fucking room that day. Excuse my French. But he did. He wasn't the only person that created that. So we have to be able to communicate what it is that we're trying to do, what it is that we're trying to go after. And one of the things I will tell you is the first and most point is, how are we communicating with our body language, right? If we think about this, our body language is 55% of the way we communicate with somebody. How do we hold our shoulders back? How do we talk to somebody? What does our smile on our face look like? Like, all of the little things, people think it's how we communicate with the words that we're saying. Now, here's what I'll tell you. The words that you use are 7% of how you communicate. You guys already know all this stuff, right? You've listened to my podcast. You understand that. But I'm a big body language. I'm a big way of how you communicate with people, how you work with them, what's your tonality like with people, which is 38%. All of these things are important because what I'll tell you is I can, in 2 minutes or less, I can tell if somebody is, working towards being successful, they are successful, or they've given up on themselves. And all of it's in body language. See somebody goes, well, I just have RBF. I'm like, no. You don't have RBF. I mean, you can tell me that all the time, but then if you already know that, then if you want to be successful, you'd start working on that. You would start making sure that is something that you say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to have RBF because I don't want people thinking I have resting bitch face. I want people to understand that I'm going to smile. Well, I got to work a lot harder. Well, yeah. You have to work a lot harder in the gym if you want to have the results. You have to work harder on your diet if you want to have the results. You got to work hard in your business, making phone calls if you want to have the results. If you want to change your tonality or if you want to change your body language, you're going to have to work on it. Win with actions, not through arguments. So many people will argue back and forth with why they don't have something in their life, why they can't change something. I think, you know what? It's like win with actions. Quit talking about it. Quit arguing about it. I learned that really on, that I was not going to sit back and argue with people about what they thought about what my business was or what I did. Because at the end of the day, I learned that all it did was heat up and nobody ever won. All I had understood is I had to state the facts about what I was trying to do, what I was trying to accomplish. And you know what? If I could get that other person to kind of see from my side, or just to be able to say, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but it might have different results. That's fine. I'm okay with that because I understand if I want radical change, right? If I want the radical change to getting this life of abundance, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. And I know that every time I do something, every time I do a talk, every time I do a newscast, every time I do a podcast, every time I do a video, all I'm trying to do is each day chip away at that person. So at the end, that they might be open and just enough to listen. And that's where massive change comes in. That's where massive action comes in. When we're looking for this and you're sitting back and going, I want this clear vision of abundance. I want more. Well, then I think what you have to understand is this. How are you using all of your tools every day? How are you using, because you have to understand you're the co-creator of the experiences that you want. It's important. You cannot participate. You have to cut that D. You cannot participate in the cause without participating in the effect. That's important. So if you're looking and you're saying, hey, I want to go after some things today, and I want to go after this whole thing of abundance and having this unbelievable life, then you've got to get motivated by your intentions, the things that you want to go out there and get done. What goes out always comes back. Every time you put that out there, giving people an option, an idea, a way to go out there and do, that's what happens. Here's the deal today. When you're out there in your car, you're out there making a run today, you want that law of abundance, you want that bigger, brighter, most unbelievable life, you want to make sure that you have these awesome specific goals that you're trying to do. You're not going to sit there and, hey, I can't change my RBF, I can't change some of the things. You're done having that bad self-talk. What you're going to understand is this, is power is plus your choices and your responsibilities. That's where you get your power. When you understand that today, your responsibilities plus your choices, those equal your power, you're going to have that law of abundance. You're going to have that big life that you wanted. You're going to have that different mindset. Make sure you go out there and tackle it today. Remember, it's your responsibility plus your choices that you make equal the power that you have over that life of abundance that you want. Have a great day. This is HIT, High Intensity Tactics for Growth. Have a great day, everyone.